Inkulungwane zabafundi beyibhala umatikuletsheni ngonyaka odlule ziphasile kanti akuzona zonke zizoya emanyuvesi ngenxa yezikhala ezingekho. Ezinye zalezi student mbukeli zizoya kuma-TVET colleges. Okubi ke ukuthi iningi labantu view these as institutions for those who are not academically strong and could not make it to university. Manje mbukeli, how do we deal with the stigma attached to TVET colleges? Okuhle futhi ukuthi njengoba iningizimu Afrika inenkinga yabafundi abashiya isikole bengakafiki kumatikuletsheni ngezathu eziningi mbukeli, labo abaphasa ugrade 10 no11 bayakwazi ukuthi baye kuma-TVET colleges ukuze bakwazi ukufunda, basebenze, bavula amabhizinisi, bakwazi ukudlala indima ukwakha umnotho wakuleli. Namhlanje mbukeli sibuka indima edlalwa yilama TVET colleges inkinga zokuxhaswa kubafundi. Asikubingeleleke mbukeli sikwamukela ohlelweni asikhulume Let's Talk. Igama lami ngingubongiwe uMakhumalo wakwaZwane. Khumbula ke mbukeli ukuthi ungaba ingxenye yalolu hlelo ngokushayela ucingo sizwe umbono noma umbuzo wakho. Inombolo zethu zocingo 011-714-0677 noma 0678. Siyatholakala mbukeli einkundleni zokuxhumana ku-X @SABC izindaba kanye ku-Facebook ekhasi lethu SABC izindaba. Ukuze kubelula ke mbukeli sicela uqale ngo#asikhulume #SABC News bese ke ubhala umbuzo noma umbono wakho. Asikhulume. Mbukeli, the Department of Higher Education and Training has been at the forefront of advocating for TVET colleges. One such champion in the department is a former student of the TVET college and now Deputy Minister Buti Manamela. Uhlale phansi nentatheli yethu Musa Mkhaliphi ngokubaluleka kwemfundo ephakeme kanye nama-TVET colleges.
People have this idea that traditional universities are the way to go and not really informed about the type of skills and training that they can get at TVET colleges. Would you say that they are the future?
We need to understand the importance of each of these institutions in our society. If you want to pursue academia, knowledge production, research, go to a university. If you want to go and be a lecturer, if you want to do designs, and so on and so forth, go to a university. But if you want to, be on a construction site, if you want to be a plumber, if you want to be an electrician, if you want to be all of those which combine theory but also practical exposure, if you want to graduate and be ready for employment, come to a TVET college.
There still seems to be a bit of a shortage of artisans in the country. Why do you think that is, and how do we begin to bridge that gap?
We identified the problem in 2009, 2010, and a year or two later, in fact, in a year or two later, around 2010, we introduced a program, the Decade of the Artisan, and the intention was to move from, at the time we were producing only about 2,000 artisans per annum, to move up that number. The average age of an artisan at that time was about 55 to 60 years old. The race of an artisan was a white, predominantly Afrikaner man. So we had to shift that. We put a target of 30,000 artisans by 2030. As we speak now, had it not been of COVID, it would have been much higher. But as we speak now, we're producing 20,000 artisans per annum. Most of this, like you see here behind me, are young black women, and we think that this is a fundamental, change.
Mbukeli ukudingida kabanzi ngalolu daba samukele ihambeli zethu Dr. George Muthapo onguthishanhloko waseCitibank TVET College, as well as students Vuyo Bolo, who is currently doing his National Accredited Technical Education Diploma N5 in Electrical Engineering, as well as Samantha Davids, who completed her National Certificate Vocational NCV Level 4 in Electrical Engineering, as well as a trade test. Good evening to you all, and thank you so much for your time.
Good evening.
Good evening. Principal, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the importance of a TVET college, because some people think that this is where a person like Samantha or Vuyo would go if they did not do well in matric.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's the narrative that has been there with colleges. And as colleges in South Africa, we want to change that narrative and make our colleges a college of first choice. where we excel in academic, but not only in academic, and we empower our students with practical skills. So in other words, our students goes to the workshop, goes to industry to do practicals. And I must say, our courses are actually not meant for students that are deemed not, but empower students in order to, to be employable and also to go into the world of business and even open their own businesses.
For you, Vuyo, what would you say has been the benefit of going to a TVET college?
The main benefit of going to a TVET college is probably like the experience that I got from a lot of like the lecturers that have already been in the industry, and a lot of the equipment that is not really accessible at high schools that I was able to get from a TVET college. There's more, there's a lot of experience that comes from talking to teachers that have already been in the industry about how like certain jobs, like how they work, how different industries operate, especially for my field, which is mechatronics. I get a lot of tips about how to approach job hunting in case I am looking for jobs and stuff like that.
That's interesting. Samantha, for you, one would ask, what made you decide to take this route?
I used to watch children going to school, and because I did not complete my matric, I decided to go back to school, where I completed my Abbott Level 4. That was in 2010. And then in 2019, I registered at Citibank TVET College for the course Electrical Engineering. And I also became a beneficiary of the tech program in 2019. And then in 2021, I completed my NCV Level 4 in electrical. And luckily, I got an apprenticeship with Cummins. That was in 2022 as a diesel fitter. And I completed my trade test last year. And I'm currently a field service in power generations technician.
I'm so envious as I sit here. I feel like I haven't studied enough listening to what you have to say. And Dr. Mtapo, one of the things, though, is that we are looking right now at a number of students who may not even have space to go to a university. And they're asking themselves right now to say that if I go to a TVET college, for example, are there high fees? Is there an exorbitant amount when it comes to an application fee, a registration fee that I'm going to have to pay?
Yeah, unfortunately, at colleges, we don't charge students for an application fee. That's number one. And number two, not even, a registration fee, because majority of our students are NSFAS beneficiaries. So when students come to us, they would have applied at NSFAS and got a reference number. And when they register with us, in most cases, for those students that qualify, do not even pay a deposit or even a registration fee. Because
so someone doesn't need to worry that they won't get NSFAS?
Someone doesn't need to worry, especially if you come from a needy family. That means you qualify in terms of the NSFAS, guidelines that we receive. But I can tell you that 90% of our students are NSFAS beneficiaries.
That's quite interesting. And when you think about the fact that, Vuyo, for you, you do have the support that you're talking about, was it always like that when you started at the TVET College, or is it something that grows over time?
It largely depends on how much work you put into your degree. Yeah. For example, I was participating in the World Skills Competition last year, and that was a lot of experience gained from that competition. So I don't think it would have been something I would have gotten if I'd immediately gone into level 2. It's something that I had to, like, for example, talk with a lot of the teachers, participate in class and stuff like that. It was mainly just talking to lecturers that got me in, like, the opportunity of going to that competition of World Skills.
Samantha, how has it changed your life, and really, especially listening to Vuyo? He's talking about something that is a huge issue that I'm going to need us to talk about after the break, which is skills, because the training is quite critical in this country. How would you say being at a TVET college for you has changed your life?
It changed my life because Citibank TVET College offers practical skills, and that prepared me for the workforce.
All right. And When you think about this, Dr. Mothapo, because we talk in South Africa about the fact that there's a skills shortage. Yeah. There's a gap there. Sometimes there's a mismatch when it comes to careers and some of the skills that are needed. How important is it for somebody to come to an institution like yours in order to receive the skills training?
It is very important, and it's also more important when we've got a partnership with industry. Because when we train, we are training for industry. And like in Samantha's case, where industry came on board right at level 2. So in other words, when student registered a student, a company was already there at the college and identify those students and work with them from NCV level 2 until NCV level 4. And when they completed, like Samantha completed NCV level 4, the company, which is Cummins and Komatsu, said, those students that we have selected at level 2, we like to interview them and place them into an apprenticeship. So it's very important because now our students will not be trained at the college and go and look for a job. Already a company is already waiting for you. So there's new programs that we're introducing that are accredited by QCTO where students are linked to industry right at entry.
I want us to talk about those after the break because I'm very interested in what you've just said, thinking about the high unemployment rate of young people in the country and how this can begin to change their lives. Mbukeli, siyabuya khona manje mkanyakazi. Mbukeli, ake sizwe ukuthi nithini einkundleni zokuxhumana. Let's just take a look at some of your Facebook comments. Njengoba sikhuluma ngokuthi ama-TVET colleges, how do they begin to shape your future and what happens then as a young person? Umxolisi uthi ama-TVET colleges angadlala indima ebaluleke kakhulu emnothweni nasekuthuthukiseni imfundo kuleli. Into nje ama-TVET awazidayisi ukuze abafundi bawazi ukuthi imfundo yakhona ikahle futhi isemthethweni. Uthi ngifunde khona eTVET College ngaqeda ngayofunda ukukhanda isitimela kwaPrasa, and today I'm a qualified electrical fitter because of a TVET College. Luyanda, ama-TVET College abamba iqhaza elikhulu kwezemfundo nakwezomnotho sengathi abafundi bangakhetha kule mkhakha eyi-demand in nowadays. Example, plumbing. U-Eric uthi ama-TVET abaluleke kakhulu umsakazi, uhulumeni uwona nje ongafuni ukuhlangana halfway nawo. Mina nginjena nje ngifunde kuyo i-TVET, inkinga nje imisebenzi yona engekho. Usiyabonga uthi msasazi xa enokunakekelwa ngokupheleleyo ama-TVET colleges inkulu indima angayidlala kwimfundo nakuqoqosho lwelilizwe loMzantsi Afrika. Mbukeli, those are some of your Facebook comments. Njengoba nikhuluma ngokuthi nje ama-TVET colleges abaluleke kangakanani, especially uma ucabanga ukuthi njengoba umuntu ekhuluma nge-plumbing nje masilalela i-basic education department u-DG wakhona uyakhuluma ngalokhu ukuthi technical skills are needed now more than ever. And I'm coming back to you, Dr. Mothapo, because le ndaba yama-technical skills ibaluleke kakhulu, and it's something that we hear about. And when you listen to ama-matric results last week, u-DG uthi abafunde ama-technical skills. It's something that's important, and it's something that you are doing at the school. But an interesting thing, you're saying that already the companies are on board when these students are already in school.
Yes, like in Samantha's case, where we signed a partnership with Cummins and Komatsu, where they recruited students right at entry when they came to the college. So right at NCV level 2, they selected those students, mentor them. But what was also more important is for them to contribute in the infrastructure of the college, where they will donate a workshop where engines that are at industry are already at the college, where students are exposed to those. Because what are we training for if we're not training for, business and industry? So when students go to industry, when we've got a strong partnership, they will not struggle and they will be employable because they are skilled with the same technology or even equipment that are already at industry.
So which means this equipment that we're seeing here, that they are using is the same equipment abazofika bayisebenzise when they get to that place of work.
Right, at the industry. So, and even our lecturers get to be exposed because during the school holidays, they go to the company and learn the state of the art that is currently used. I mean, if you've got your trade test 10 years ago, the machines that you used are no longer used at the moment. And you can only empower a lecturer by placing that lecturer at industry so that they're able to offer, those courses at the college.
Vuyo, you have some young people who are watching us right now who are going to be saying, but I don't want to go to a TVET college because a TVET college, it feels like it's a place where, the people that were not academically strong go to. What do you say to someone who thinks like that?
I would say that the image of TVET colleges are changing very recently. And in my case, for example, I was like, I wouldn't say top, but like number 9.
So you were in the top 10? You are quite top. That's top.
He's one of our best performing students.
That's top.
Yeah, I would say that when it comes to like matric and level 4, the only difference really is like training. With NCV, you get training with the equipment that they use in the industries already. For example, when I was in the competition for WorldSkills last year, there was a showcase of one of the companies that are in our industry, Mechatronics. That company is called First. They were working with equipment that was like, oh yeah, I did this for a task. So I was like, I've already done this. So even like when you start at that work, at that job, you're already in. You've already worked with some of the equipment. The company already knows that, oh, this person is familiar with our equipment, so we don't need to spend like 6 months on training them.
For you, Samantha, what do you say to someone who's watching you who says, I'm not too sure about the stigma of TVET colleges? How do you tell them that this is the best option?
It is the best option because you get to use your hands, you work using your hands. And TVET colleges offer you hand skills as well as theory skills, and that prepares you for the workplace. People should not give up and register at TVET colleges.
When we come back, I want us to look at some of the challenges that you face when it comes to infrastructure. Do you have enough support as a TVET college in order to be able to take more people and be able to ensure that what we are seeing here, is a work that continues, that you are also able to do and change the community? Mbogeli, I do understand we have a caller from Stack Sprite. Good evening, Bab.
Kunjani siswami?
Siyaphila njani tata?
Ngobrother Dona kwaKhiba.
Okay, ungaqhubeka brother.
Into ebendingayicebisa apha eyenza ukuthi abantwana balahle ithemba ngama-TVET colleges. Bacetyiswa already sebebufeyila ngongathi mhlawumbe kulama-TVET colleges kuya abantwana abafeyilile. Uba bebebaxelela abantwana beselapha koma-grade 6 apha ko-standard 2 ukuthi bazokwazi ukuzikhethela ukuthi bazawubhenefita kanje kuma-TVET colleges, bazabhenefita kanje kuma-university, baye already baphambili sebenomqondo ukuba mabazikhethele. Ngoku bonke baxalelwa sebefeyilile, abanye seberejectwe ezikolweni, kuthiwe asizunithatha wena iyanini kuma-TVET colleges. So ibanika umqondo bonaba ke ngoku abakrelekrele ebebe-aplayele ema-university ukuthi kuma-TVET colleges kuya abantu ama-failers, abafeyila imatric okanye abangaphumelelanga kakuhle. Mabaxatiswe kusephansi, baxalelwe ukuthi le iyanceda nayo iyadlisa nale iyadlisa ukwenzela uba babe bekhulu bakhule nomqondo ukuba zombini zibalulekile.
Enkosi kakhulu Brazet, ngoba lento ikhulumayo, it's actually a very, very important part of the discussion. Dr. Muthapo, one of the things that we see in this country is that umubheka on the list, yes, Home Affairs, scarce skills, they are there. You think about artisans, you think about plumbers and all of that. These are things that TVET colleges can actually offer.
Yes, we actually offer those programs. We are introducing new programs that are QC2 accredited. So these are skills or courses that are able to empower our young people with more practical skills so that when they go to industry, they don't have to be retrained. And even if you're trained as a plumber from the college, why not go and open a business, you know, of plumbing? So we are introducing new programs that empower students with more practical work.
Do you have enough support in terms of infrastructure so that you can be able to take on more? Because we often see that the country, for example, it produces 15,000 artisans currently. Yes. We're looking at the fact that the target is 30,000. Yeah. Would you say an institution like yours does have the support that is required infrastructurally and everything?
Yes, the support that we get from the Department of Higher Education and Training. But the most support that we need is from industry, because we need industry to come on board, because we are training for industry. We want our young people, when they finish at the college, you know, to be employable and to access industry very well. But we also need companies to invest, you know, in the infrastructure of colleges. So support is there, but we always need more.
Quite interesting. Samantha, what's next for you when you complete?
I have completed my diesel fitter trade, and I'm currently in a new role as a power gen fuel service technician.
What's that?
We repair service generators, Cummins generators. I also go like province to province and also get to work in the workshop. I am still learning new things every day.
Look at you.
You never stop learning.
You never stop indeed. For you?
I've not really decided on a future, because for me, the only reason why, the main reason why I even did mechatronics was because I was interested in learning about like robotics and all these different fields in engineering. So I'm still going to apply for jobs, because, you know, I think everybody is still applying for jobs. But I'm interested in learning more about this field. So maybe I might take it further studying, or even get learn more about the industry by going into the industry.
Final word, it sounds like this is the place to be.
Yes, it is the place to be, and colleges are the future. We offer programs that are unique, that are tailor-made to empower students to be employable and also to open businesses. We do not want to regard ourselves as a second choice, so you don't have to fail before you come to a college. Make a choice, and like Vuyo, who, from grade 9 and came to college and do NCV level 2 and do, you know, a field that he's interested in. And we are saying colleges are there and are there for a purpose, and young people, our doors are open for, you know, for learning and also to do more practicals. But, you know, we need our young people to be employable, and you can only be employable when you've got a skill, and colleges are there for that purpose.
I cannot wait to see what you do. I'm going to come see, because it sounds very exciting. Vuyo as well, when you've made up your mind and you're going into mechatronics, I really want to see what it's all about. But thank you so much for coming this evening. A lot of our young people are probably watching and inspired. Certainly, you've changed a number of, you know, minds in order to be able to think about TVET colleges as the place to be. Mbukeli sifika maphethelweni ohlelo asibonge kuwe ukuthi uhlanganyele kanye nathi nehambeli zethu uDokotela uGeorge Muthapo nguthishanhloko waseSidibeng TVET College, as well as students Vuyo Polo and Samantha Davids. Asithembe mbukela ukuthi uzoqhubeka nokukhuluma ngalokho einkundleni zokuxhumana. uMakhumalo wakwaZwanye kanye neThembale asikhulume sithi akube ngokuzayo.